Welcome back to Weirdest World, where the strange isn't just possible, it's documented. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most unsettling and persistent conspiracy theories in UFO lore, the Men in Black. No, not the Hollywood version with Will Smith cracking jokes and blasting aliens. The real Men in Black are far more disturbing, and they've been showing up for decades. But before we start, make sure you stay until the very end of this video, because I'm going to reveal one of the strangest Men in Black encounters ever recorded. It's not just creepy, it might prove they're not human. Let's rewind to the summer of 1947. Just days before the infamous Roswell crash, a man named Harold Dahl was on a boat near Maury Island, Washington. He claimed to see 6 donut-shaped UFOs hovering above the water. One of them dropped molten debris, injuring his son and killing their dog. The next day, Dahl said he was visited by a man in a black suit who warned him not to talk about what he saw. This became known as the Maury Island incident, and it's considered one of the earliest Men in Black encounters. Fast forward to 1956. Author Gray Barker publishes They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers, compiling stories of UFO witnesses who were threatened by mysterious men in dark suits. Barker described them as emotionless, pale, and robotic, sometimes appearing in pairs, sometimes alone. They didn't just ask questions, they intimidated, they erased evidence, they made people disappear. One of Barker's sources was Albert K. Bender, a UFO researcher who claimed he was forced to shut down his organization after being visited by 3 men in black. He described them as having glowing eyes, telepathic abilities, and a smell of sulfur. Bender believed they weren't human at all, but alien enforcers sent to silence those who got too close to the truth. These stories aren't isolated. They've been reported across decades, continents, and cultures. Witnesses often describe the same eerie traits: black suits, blank expressions, strange speech patterns, and a complete lack of understanding of human behavior. Some say they move stiffly, like puppets. Others say they glitch, repeating phrases, mixing up sayings, or staring without blinking. Let's look at the 1967 Point Pleasant UFO flap in West Virginia. This is the same town where the Mothman was sighted. During this period, multiple residents reported visits from Men in Black. They asked bizarre questions, flashed fake credentials, and seemed confused by everyday objects. One woman said they didn't know how to use a doorknob. Another said they tried to drink Jell-O like it was liquid. John Keel, author of the Mothman Prophecies, investigated these cases and concluded that the Men in Black were not government agents, but something else entirely. He described them as demonic, ultra-terrestrial, and possibly interdimensional beings. Keel believed they were part of a larger phenomenon, one that included UFOs, cryptids, and psychic disturbances. Now, let's talk about Dr. Herbert Hopkins, a respected physician and hypnotist. In 1976, he was studying a UFO case in Maine when he received a phone call from a man claiming to be a representative of a UFO organization. Minutes later, the man arrived at Hopkins' house, dressed in a black suit, with no hair, no eyebrows, and unnaturally pale skin. Hopkins said the man spoke in a monotone voice and seemed to know things he shouldn't. At one point, the man told Hopkins to destroy all his research. Then he stood up, walked out, and vanished. Hopkins later found that the phone call had never been traced. The number didn't exist. So, who or what are the Men in Black? Theory 1. Government agents. Some believe they're part of a secret task force assigned to suppress UFO evidence, possibly linked to the Air Force Office of Special Investigations, AFOSI, or even a rogue branch of the CIA. But this doesn't explain the robotic behavior, the glowing eyes, or the fact that they often appear before official investigations even begin. Theory 2. Alien hybrids. This theory suggests the men in black are extraterrestrials disguised as humans. Their awkward behavior, lack of emotion, and inability to grasp human customs support this idea. Some even claim they emit electromagnetic interference, causing phones to die, lights to flicker, and cameras to malfunction. Theory 3. Interdimensional entities. This is where things get weird. Some researchers believe the men in black are not physical beings at all, but manifestations from another plane. They appear when reality bends, when someone sees something they weren't supposed to. They're not here to protect us. They're here to maintain the illusion. Now, let's talk about Dan Aykroyd, the actor and UFO enthusiast. In 2002, he was filming a UFO documentary when he stepped outside to take a phone call. He saw two men in black suits standing across the street. When he turned back, the show had been canceled. The footage was never released. Aykroyd believes he was silenced. And then there's the Niagara Falls incident. In 2008, two men in black were caught on hotel security cameras. They entered the lobby, asked for a UFO witness, and left without explanation. Staff described them as identical. Same height, same face, same robotic movements. The footage is grainy, but it's real. You can find it online. So, what do we make of all this? Are the men in black real? If so, who do they work for? Why do they care so much about UFO sightings? And why do they seem not quite human? Skeptics say it's all myth, that Gray Barker and Albert Bender fabricated their stories, that witnesses are misremembering, exaggerating, or hallucinating. But the consistency of the reports, the eerie similarities across time and geography, suggest something more. And now, as promised, here's the weirdest Men in Black encounter ever recorded. In 1980, a man named Paul Miller was returning from a hunting trip in North Dakota when he saw a glowing object land in a field. He and his friends approached it, and something emerged. They fled. The next day, three men in black suits showed up at his office. They knew everything: where he'd been, what he'd seen, even what he was wearing. They warned him to forget it. Miller hadn't told anyone, not even his wife. To this day, he swears they weren't human. So, what's the truth? Maybe the men in black are real. Maybe they're part of a system designed to keep us in the dark. Or maybe they're the ones watching us watch them. Thanks for watching Weirdest World. If this video made you question reality, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who's seen something they shouldn't have. And let me know in the comments, do you believe the men in black are real, or just a very persistent myth? Until next time, stay weird.